Welcome to more NBA Specialtatin. Yes, video game for NBA, that's different. Figured I might as well do this because for 2K16 it doesn't have online anymore. And I had 2 games left that I haven't done anything with, so I figured I just may as well do them. It's close to the end of the NBA season, so this is relevant because, yeah, that makes it relevant enough, I guess. Honestly, though, 2K16 is probably better than 17-18. I didn't get either of them, but from playing their demos and reading the reviews and stuff, seems like in general 2K16 was a more well-liked game. So, even though this isn't relatively the newest stuff, well, it should be entertaining because I should blow this other person out. Y'all saw my cards. Y'all saw their cards. Mine are slightly superior, I would say. I have LeBron James, who's arguably the best player. No, I'm not going to go there, but y'all have your own opinions there. I'm not going to make it. I have Tony Parker, who's the best French player of all time. I don't think anyone denies that one, do they? I don't think so. And then I have Bill Russell, who's the winningest player of all time. That can't be denied because that's just facts. He is. So I have the best French player, the best player, and the winningest player of all time on the same team. So, yay. Should win this pretty easily, even though I'm already down. But one of the things I actually liked about 2K16 that just downright beat the others, or at least compared to the demo, is all NBA games you can play arcadey, especially online, because they have stuff where you can shoot from half court and make it depending on the player. But people who were good in 2K16, pretty much they're like, the only way they could truly manipulate it is pretty much if they know the releases of the players. So you pretty much had to be good to look good. There wasn't just like 2K17 had, like, Dennis Rodman could shoot threes and make him better than Stephen Curry can in real life. Pretty much if you had good cards at 2K17, you were unbeatable, and 2K18 starting to become that way now too. 2K16, or at least as far as I can tell in the time that I played it, which was after all the content was out, so in theory this is correct. Unless you had downright the best Michael Jordan in the game, and like the best Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the game and stuff like that. That wasn't really happening with you, and those people who had those were few and far in between, just because that's how it should be. 2K16 honestly is better. As I've made videos before, kind of comparing it to GT Sport, 2K18 has unskippable cutscenes too. And supposedly, when you're not in a cutscene and you're trying to play online, it's really laggy and stuff. And I mean, y'all can see by this, I don't have the best internet, and it's not doing terrible. It's not doing great. Not doing terrible. There's been spots of lag and stuff, but nothing terrible. As for my play, though, that was actually a little bit of lag, honestly. I mean, as y'all can see, I'm far from the best with this game, but that seemed like a pretty obvious alley-oop that could be gotten. I mean, except for Tony Parker, the rest of my team can easily jump to get that ball from that range. Probably about any NBA player who could dunk could, but it's just my player didn't, which pretty much means my player wasn't in the position that was showing on the screen. So that actually was a bit of lag, but that's really about the only lag I've seen so far. So, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse, I guess. The worst would be actually that guy ends up with better players. Some people, especially at the point in the game that played this, which was, I think, in December, so the game ended in a month. It ended December 31st, 2017. Were kind of just being stupid, not taking it seriously. They were good players using bad cards or whatever. I know I'm not the best, but I didn't honestly think I was this bad when I started. I don't know, maybe I'm playing the greatest player in the game or something. At this point, the people who are still playing, in theory, are going to be pretty much the greatest in the game because they've had that much more experience. But in reality, it's probably just people like me that like the new games or just couldn't afford the new games, which is also sort of kind of like me as well. So, yeah, I don't know. This guy, though, might be the first one just really caught being good at the game. But I'm starting to look a little bit better. Yeah, kind of. Oh. That's where it actually kind of gets into not quite as realistic, honestly. maybe in 2K16 they saw stuff like this, so they attempted to fix it for 17 by just making the players be able to hit shots more. But they kind of overdid it. I guess in a way it's better if you don't hit as many shots than if you just hit crazy amounts. Because there's points where just players can get downright get unstoppable in 2K17. With 2K18, all the cards aren't out yet, but it is kind of starting to get that point from what I've seen. So, I don't know, maybe 2K16 you can't really complain about that type of stuff. Honestly, though, with all NBA games in general, they are kind of the same stuff, even though they kind of have to change it up so people don't complain. So even though 2K16 just sort of had the better setup and online wasn't as laggy and stuff, it's still far from worth buying a new one, even if you like the way the new one runs, which not that many people do. But it is different, so some people would by default just less. But honestly, to me, they never seem all that much worth buying a new one. I actually did buy 2 in a row. I bought 2K15 and then 2K16. But actually, that's just because I kind of got random luck with 2K16. I was able to get Drive Club for $5. Literally, I just went to a thrift store that was going out of business, and they had a copy of it for $5. Sort of the same with 2K16 as well. Somebody actually bought it and then just didn't really like it, so gave it to me for like $10, pretty much new. It was like December of 2015, and the games are a year ahead, so that game already been out for a few months, but still it's way cheaper than you get in stores. I don't know why they didn't like it. They didn't really say, just, I think they knew that I like that type of game, so yay, I'll take it. But, yeah, I don't think I'd pay $60 for an NBA game, honestly, anymore. They're kind of... There's content to them. There's actually a lot of content to them. Just actually most of the content to them is not what people generally like. It's either waiting in a cutscene to get to something that's actually fun, or while you're doing something fun, it kind of manipulates it to make it run longer and drawn out. AKA either lag, which everybody hates, or in-game currency that you either have to grind forever to be able to afford, or just use your real money on, which either way is kind of a negative. It's good to make people play the game longer, but I mean, even in GT Sport, it's starting to become that way. You shouldn't make it to where downright the main focus of people is to gain money. It should be enjoy the game before gain money to enjoy parts of the game, in my opinion. It's better to just give stuff that people can actually have, and then they just enjoy it longer because they realize that other games don't do that. Sport isn't as bad as some of the other games, and some of those other games are honestly NBA. I played about 2 years-ish of offline career mode from 2015 to 2017 when it ended. I started this about a year and a half into it, and I had enough to get players go to 99. I didn't even have enough to get a 95 and still flashed my team out. I could have got a 95, which they call Diamond in this game, but then I wouldn't have enough to get a lot of the other good players. The best player that I had was LeBron James. I mean, which is really good, but for some reason in this game, he was actually the best of the modern players who were just their basic day one or whatever before like their best games and all that came out. He was the best out of all the modern players, which is realistic, but still, he was only a 94. And realistically, 2K16, I would say LeBron probably was as good as any other year for video games or in real life, really, and he was only a 94. And take that as you may, but I think LeBron's better than a 94, possibly even now. He's having one of his better seasons still, and he's 33 years old. Honestly, he probably does use steroids. There's people who say that, but yeah, he probably does. He's just probably rich enough and powerful enough in the scene to get away with it, but yeah, if you're a LeBron James fan, sorry, I'm honestly kind of indifferent to him. I don't mind him, because people say he would have went to, like, Ohio State or something in college, but it seems like he does go to a lot of University of Kentucky games, so even from being in the NBA. He goes to a lot of UK games. I think honestly he might have gone to UK just because, well, they're good. If he would have gone to Ohio State, that might have hurt his draft stock because they're just not as good of a basketball team. They're not a bad basketball team, but they're more of a football school. So, yeah. So, I don't mind him that much. I mean, obviously, I don't know for a fact he would have gone to UK, just given they didn't go to college, but I kind of bet he would have. But whatever. On to the rest of the game, though. Honestly, can't really complain that much. I'm ahead by, I mean, not really a comfortable margin, but not by like 1 or something where it's going to go back and forth. When you get to a 3, that's a 2 here. It's not that big a deal. That's only 2, which is a 1. Well then, yeah, that's what I mean. 2K17, they up the sliders where they hit an easy layup like that all the time, but then they also up the sliders where you hit contested threes like half of the time, so. Layups like that shouldn't be missed, but then there should be crazy shots that get made in other games as well. It's obviously I'm not showing here just because I don't have the other games, but I don't have the other games for that reason. It was stuff like that's getting borderline unrealistic. Also, these cutscenes here are also unrealistic. I don't know why they're in there. That's not even like a story cutscene. That's just, for whatever reason, if there's a foul in this mode, which is this online 3-on-3 with real players, I think they call it like Blacktop or something. I can't even remember. This is kind of the basic street ball mode. If you get a foul, it just shows the 2 players looking not even really at each other, just kind of looking at the camera that were involved with the foul, whoever caused it and whoever got fouled. And they don't even like fight, they don't even stare each other down, they just look at the camera and don't really even make any motions or anything. Very pointless cutscene that I don't know if the other ones have or not, but I kind of bet they do. Don't know why that's there. It would be kind of cool if it was like a aggression type thing, like they stared each other down and there was like an aggression versus intimidated meter or something like that, but which would be realistic for street ball mode like this. I don't think I'd like that in a real game, but something like this, fine. But no, it doesn't have any of that. It's just a completely pointless cutscene. But anyway, this game has actually been competitive despite the teams being not at all equally matched. Yeah, maybe I'm not exactly the best at this game. I think I look good with this game for, like, relative or whatever, because a lot of the people who probably weren't as good just have moved on at this point because they just go to the newer games. Probably the people left are mostly good, so I don't necessarily look the best, but there's not that many of the not best left. But realistically, I'm probably far from the best, though, as well. So, yeah. Whatever, though, I'm trying. Honestly, about the only stuff that I'm not good at, and I've kind of explained this in all other games, is stuff like getting on someone when they're running full speed to the basket or whatever, like cutting. Pretty much if they're running full speed, I'm not the best with that just because I don't have the best of reflexes. That's, I think, is honestly why I like racing games, especially the slower speed cars in racing games, because it's more about precision than it is downright timing. I think that's also why I like dirty racing, because it's completely random too, and why there is sometimes timing in that. A lot of the times it's just random stuff that can go your way sometimes, no matter how good or bad you are in terms of reflexes. And sometimes you can actually anticipate stuff ahead where you don't even need reflexes in dirty racing, but this is basketball, so let's focus on that because it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I'm playing as good defense as I can, and honestly that was pretty good defense, really, but they're pretty bad players, so I can't be all that happy about that. And another thing, too, fouls don't actually matter in this mode. You just get the annoying cutscene, and then it plays all free throw, that's actually kind of hard to say in the moment. Or, like, a possibility of fouling out, or you just get, like, a point or something added on. It just literally doesn't matter. Which, I mean, obviously that can use both ways, but it seems like it gets used against me more this game than in my favor, but whatever. It's looking like I should still be able to win, though. It's the 21, just the basic average for this. Win by 2, I'm up by 2. If I score here, I'm all but good, really. I would only need one more score. If it's a 3, which is a 2 in this. Realistically, I don't have the best 3-point shooters. LeBron is okay. Tony Parker's okay. They could be worse. That's probably the best way to say it. And I can always just do that. Yeah, can't complain. Tony Parker's, I feel like, should be better in this game. But whatever. I know he was never the greatest 3-point shooter, but it seems like he was always kind of just okay. And in this game, it's very iffy, really, if anything. But whatever. It's looking like I should still win. Actually, this game, somebody had a mic, but for whatever reason, even though I have it set to where mics are enabled for saving recordings, it just didn't. Maybe the person on the other end put it to where they don't want their mic in a recording or something, so it didn't show up. I don't know. But that's why they like pause and stuff. There's trash talking in this, which is cool. That's kind of a point against GT Sport, is that they don't allow mics in anything anymore. But this is basketball, so let's focus on this because I need to focus. Realistically, I probably ain't going to get a 3. I don't have bad 3-point shooters other than Russell, but that's probably not something I should go to. But realistically, I feel like I should have had a better chance there than a 3. But realistically, I probably should have hit that too. So whatever. I don't really know how this is going. I feel like we both should have hit more shots than we have, especially that. It was contested, but I mean, Jiminy Cricket, that's also LeBron. I don't know, though. Again, I shouldn't need to be that worried, because realistically, if the other player can't score, it's no big deal. Can they score, though? It's not looking like it. I'm right on them. They can't move too much at this point. They're kind of stuck, so... Really? I mean, they were right at the basket, but they were also kind of like under the basket and moving and stuff, too. This is where I don't like the 2K games in general, as it seems like there really is truly, and a lot of people say this, there's like bailouts. If there's mismatch in teams... NBA 2K, the way they do it, will try to make the other team just make more shots and stuff. Which is fair to an extent if it's like offline or something, but that shouldn't happen in online. There shouldn't be rubber banding in online for Jiminy Cricket's sakes. Unless you have it purposely turned on to make it more of an arcade mode, which this would be more of the arcade mode. But there isn't a mode to turn that on or off. It's just always on in this case. But I need one more point, so just hang in there, I guess. Honestly, I don't care if they score 1 point here, because if I score another point, I still win either way. I just need to make sure they don't make a 3, which is a 2 in this. Yeah, that works. It's a contested shot there, and if I can score here, I win. Of course not. Tony Parker is not good in this game. I don't really know why. And it's not even like the modern day Tony Parker, which actually in 2K16 is that much better, but still. This was like the 2009 or something? I can't remember. I think it's one of the Spurs championships, Tony Parker. It's actually, they won a championship recently-ish, so maybe it's the one from like a year or two before this game came out, but whatever, it still shouldn't be that cotton picking bad. And that was a foul, though, so realistically I might need to win here, because that's just kind of the way it goes. When there's fouls, generally it just kind of depends on the player if they can blow by, but I'll get props for props to do that. That guy was actually ready there. That was a hard layup with a hand in the face. We both missed layups with not much defense, but whatever. If I score here, no big deal. But if I don't, then it may be a very big deal. But there you go. Yeah, that was as anticlimactic as a game that got close could be, because the players were nowhere close to equally matched, and it was kind of lock on both of their sides. That's why I didn't buy any of the new 2K games. This game, as y'all could see throughout, there was a lot of luck there. There were some shots that easily should have gone in on both sides that didn't. There were some shots that probably shouldn't have gone in that did on both sides. And I had the much better team, but honestly, I'm probably far from the best player, and that happened. So, whatever, I won. Yay, here's the sticulars. I mean, just look at the team. That's Clay Anthony, Early, Jeff Withy, Hargo. I'm not even sure the other guy's first name. Versus, and that poor shooting, but they stayed in it because threes. LeBron James, Tony Parker, and Bill Russell. Yeah, I may not be the best player in the world, but hey, I won. With a lot of luck involved on both sides, so... Yay? Yeah, yeehaw. One game left, and I'm probably done with basketball till I get good again. It's probably like Gran Turismo, might not be ever, but we'll see. Yeehaw. Maybe only one more time, though.